quick question. Anybody out there wake up 5, 10, 15 minutes late this morning on the way to work, and on your way in you're speeding a little bit and you cut someone off and they flipped you the bird, you flipped them the bird, and you know the normal exchange, the road rage exchange took place? Did that happen to anybody this morning? Anybody wake up this morning and their girlfriend, boyfriend, wife, husband mysteriously gone, took all their stuff, left, took the kids and left? Anybody that you know, that you suspect did you really, 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 really wrong, and you want a way to get back at them? I say all this because I want to get everyone thinking. I want you to realize that we all get in that place where we're angry at somebody. Now, not all of us get into the place where we would make false accusations, but especially in, say, like custody battles where, let's say a man leaves his wife, for instance. At first it starts off nice and easy and clean and all that good stuff. Then they agree that they're going to have shared custody or whatever the custody agreement is with the children. And then that one time, and I'm saying this for the wife, but we could say it for the husband also. It works both ways, of course. I know we've all known somebody like this. But the husband starts seeing somebody else. And that somebody else is a little bit younger, a little bit prettier, a little bit leaner than the wife. So now you have the jaded ex-wife who's sitting at home with the kids, checking out Facebook, stalking her ex-husband's Facebook, and sees him hanging out and going out with this younger, meaner, leaner looking woman. She gets mad. That's where these red flag gun laws are going to come into play. Now, I'm going to go into as much detail as I can without getting into the weeds, because I've put videos out before about red flag gun laws, and let me tell you something, they're confusing. The reason why they're mostly confusing is because a lot of people already have this preconceived idea of what a red flag gun law is. In other words, usually you hear it from the media standpoint because they're controlled by the left. So a lot of times you hear that the only thing you hear about a red flag gun law is that they keep guns out of the hands of dangerous people. That's what you hear. That's probably what most of you have already heard. And those of you that haven't done any real research, probably that's all you think at this point. You're thinking, yep, exactly what I've been told. They keep the guns out of hands of dangerous people. Not so fast, my friend. That's not really how it works. They have all these different types of people who can report you and me as being a threat to yourselves or to the general public, and you can be put into that cycle of getting started with your red flag gun law. One of the quick things that I want to point out about the accusers is that if you notice all these family members and people who live with you and all this kind of stuff, there's a catch-all in there. They name all these things in there, but they also put a law enforcement officer. So that means that that person that you cut off in traffic, that you sped by, that person, if they see on the rear of your truck or Jeep or car a Glock sticker, or say an NRA sticker, or a Gun Owners of America sticker, or you can pry them from my cold dead hand sticker, just a gun related sticker, a pro-gun related sticker. That liberal anti-gun person that you just cut off can contact law enforcement and say, this person had a gun, cut me off in traffic, and threatened to shoot me. They just initiated that red flag gun law, even though that person, a road rage person, is not on this list. A police officer is. Now the police officer can petition you and have your guns taken from you. That's extremely dangerous right there. So they put police officers and law enforcement in here as a catch-all, that if they can't cover everything in every other way, then the police officer is the catch-all to allow them. As long as we have a police officer involved, everything's good to go, right? That's what their thinking is. So this person accuses Bob. Bob is crazy. Bob said he wants to kill me. Bob is the father of my kids, all right? The red flag gun law light, I like to call it, is the one where when that person accuses you, the courts now have within 14 days to contact you and let you defend yourself. The judge has a 2-week window, 14 days, to contact Bob and say, Bob, are you a threat? If you're not, tell me why. This is the charges that were levied against you. And I say charges, it's from the accuser, not actual charges from law enforcement. Okay, I have a real problem with this part being the red flag gun law light. The reason why I say that is because if this person were truly a threat, and you truly believe they were a threat, enough of a threat to where if they didn't satisfy you with what they were going to tell you during that 14-day time, that then you would confiscate their guns and take them from them for their own safety and everybody else's safety. The question I have is, so you think they're enough of a threat to violate their constitutional rights and take their self-defense tools away from them, but they weren't enough of a threat to where you felt like you were endangering them or anybody else by letting them sit for 14 days without even questioning them? That doesn't make sense to me. If they are a true threat, you should act on that immediately. You don't wait 14 days. If the repercussions are taking this person's guns from them, why in God's name would you wait 14 days and allow this dangerous person to be out there and continue being a threat to themselves or other people? Now, that's the red flag gun law light that I like to call it. Now, yeah, it's an unconstitutional law no matter how you slice it. Although I do have that little sliver of due process that slid in there that I can, quote, defend myself. Any judge in a liberal court, they're going to take my guns from me. They think they're doing God's work. They think they're doing the work of the people. They think they're saving communities if they simply confiscate one person's guns. They may wrongfully confiscate 3,000 people's guns. But their thinking is, if I took one gun away from one person that was going to do one other person harm, then it's okay. You know, that's what they say, you got to break some eggs to make an omelet. That's what they're thinking. Now, I'm not okay with that red flag gun law, but that's the red flag gun law light. Yes, it gets worse. There's what's called an ex parte red flag gun law. What that means is there's no due process. I don't care what Marco Rubio, Lindsey Graham, or even Donald Trump tell you. There is no due process before your guns are confiscated. Now, the interesting part about the ex parte red flag gun laws is how they even determine that they're legitimate. One of the things that Marco Rubio's Senate Bill number 7 says, upon receipt of petition under paragraph 1, the court may issue a temporary ex parte extreme risk protection order before conducting the hearing required under paragraph 2 if the court finds there is probable cause to believe that the respondent poses a significant danger of causing personal injury to himself or herself or others in the near future. Are you kidding me? So you can violate my constitutional rights for 12 months at a time and leave me completely defenseless because of the hypothetical fantasy of a future crime that I might commit. You do understand what I'm saying here, right? Your constitutional rights can be violated because somebody thinks you might, in the near future, possibly harm yourself or others. Now, you're left out in general population. You're not locked up. You're not put into a mental institution. You're not put in jail. There's no house arrest. You're free to come and go as you please. You just can't have any guns. Yeah, you can have all the knives you want. Hey, you want some tannerite? You get a tannerite. I know you got to have a gun to shoot that, but if you really wanted to kill somebody, think about this, guys. If a person is hell-bent on killing somebody, do you think they're worried about violating their extreme risk protection order? They get a felony slapped against them if they violate the red flag gun law. But if I decide that today I want to go kill a bunch of people and I've had all my guns taken from me, and I'm thinking I'm just going to go down to the corner where the guy's selling illegal guns out of his trunk, do you think I'm going to sit back and go, oh, wait a minute, I'm going to get a felony. I don't want another felony after I kill all these people. No, it makes no sense that you have these red flag gun laws, but the dangerous individual is still out there. Do you not see where this is a huge fallacy and a huge flaw in the anti-guns thinking, it almost makes me think that, yeah, they really do want to just come after guns, but it almost makes me think that they're just not all there. And that they really do believe the existence of a gun in a particular area makes somebody want to kill somebody. Because seriously, guys, either they don't care about people and they don't care about murders, or they're just ignorant. Because why would you leave an able-bodied person in the public, not locked up, if they were a true threat? Enough of a threat, again, that you would be willing to violate their constitutional rights. Why are they still left in the public? Why aren't we locking these people up? I'm serious about this. I would much rather see a true threat. I'm not talking about through the red flag gun law process, because this is a flawed process with way too many what ifs involved in it. But why are we going to allow people for 12 months at a time to remain out here knowing that they have full access to every other tool known to man? Hammers. You want to look at how many people a year are killing people with hammers? That's one of the leading ways that people are killing each other. Blunt force objects, a beer bottle, a screwdriver, an ice pick, a car. Think of all these things that you can use to kill somebody, and you've only taken one tool away. It shows me how ignorant you are of the process. Because I think in your mind, the anti-gun mind, they truly believe that the existence of a firearm makes people want to kill other people. That shows me how detached they are and how not in touch with real, true reality that they are. Because nobody in their right mind, nobody that can think rationally, even remotely rationally, would ever think that the existence of a firearm within a 20-foot radius of a human being would cause them to now decide they want to kill other human beings. So I'm going to show you a timeline real quick, and I'm going to lay out in as simple form as I can what a red flag gun law is. First off, we have that confrontation that we talked about. You get in an argument with somebody, something happens, whether it's an ex or whatever, there is an argument that ensues, somebody gets mad and somebody gets petty and somebody reaches out because now they've heard their sister-in-laws, brother-in-laws, cousins, sisters, brothers, auntie told them that there's this thing called an extreme risk protection order. Let me tell you something, girl, you can get your boy thrown in jail. So after that confrontation, the angry accuser now goes to the courts and gives them whatever bogus reasons, because they've Googled what it is and they've Googled what they have to provide as far as proof to get this person's guns taken from them. And they know that the person's not a real threat, but they know they can really piss them off by getting their guns taken from them. Now the petition goes to some liberal judge. The liberal judge, yes, I'm going to do my job. I'm Mr. Good Guy. I am now going to rid my town, this parish, this county, this state, this country of this gun owner's guns. So I'm going to save some hypothetical child's life. I'm going to save some hypothetical person's life in some state that this person might have traveled to go kill people, because I'm going to honor this red flag gun law petition and take this law-abiding person's guns from them. Yay, me. Now, without contacting or notifying the respondent, the person who's being accused, and I say that because it's very important. This is how innocent people have lost their lives here recently behind red flag gun laws. That innocent person is not contacted. They don't say, Paul, we're coming to your house. We're coming to take your guns from you because of a red flag gun law. No. They show up. Yeah, they got a warrant. They do have a warrant. They show up unannounced, armed, in full gear, because someone has told them that this is a red flag gun law and this is an ERPO, extreme risk protection order, and that I am a threat to myself and everybody else. They come prepared. They come expecting battle because they're doing their job. They're told I'm a threat. You don't roll up on a potential armed threat in your nice, pretty dress blues with your sidearm attached to your side with the little retention on it. No, you come fully loaded. You come kicking the door in. You don't knock on the door. You break it in. You kick it in. You come in armed to the hilt, shotguns, M16s, full auto, handguns drawn for anybody that might be outside, for instance. The K9 dog is rocking and ready to roll. And you come in, you search my home, you search me, you search my vehicle, you take everything I got. You take all my firearms, you take all my ammo. Now you leave all my swords, you leave all that, you leave all my ice picks and all my hammers and everything else. Now you might be thinking, at this point, Paul, sure, you can go to the judge now, right? Now you know about the red flag gun law. You know about the extreme risk protection order that's been filed against you. You know, obviously it's in action now. They just took all your guns and your ammo. The most that you can have a red flag gun law at any given time in place is 12 months. So we're just going to assume that. Now, a judge can issue it for 6 months, 3 months. It's up to the judge how long they do it, but for no more than 12 months. So we're going to assume 12 months, because if a judge is stupid and liberal enough to put forth one of these and enact one of these with no real evidence, they're probably going to go for the full 12 months, again, because they're saving the world. So I have 12 months that myself and my family has to wait defenseless. Now, I say my family because any guns that I would have had, my wife can't have just easily accessible. They've got to be locked out. I say locked. They can't even be accessible by me. They don't define in their bill what accessible is. Accessible may be that it's not even in the same home. Because if it's in my home and I own this house, I pay this house note, I more than likely know what the combination to the safe is and any other way that I might need to be able to get to a firearm in the home. So chances are now I'm living in a home that is defenseless. I got 12 months to wait, defenseless and unarmed, before I can go to the court system and prove to them that I was never a threat to begin with and I'm not a threat now. I have to go to them at the end of that 12 months, and remember, at the end of 12 months, I believe it's a 90-day window, that within 90 days of that red flag gun law expiring, the person who accused you gets contacted by the court system and says, hey, by the way, Paul's going to be up for potentially getting his guns back in 3 months. Again, I think it's 90 days. I'll post that on the screen if I'm wrong. But hey, just letting you know, you're the one that got this thing in motion before. I just want to let you know that Paul may be getting his guns back soon. So do you want him to keep not having his guns? Then that person has the opportunity to go, yeah, he's still a threat. Same reason as before, he's still a threat. So the judge at that point can look at me and say, nope, sorry, Paul, you can't have your guns. Now, that's my small window that I have to be able to say, hey, look, can I pretty please have my guns back? And this is why I'm not a threat. All these things that I have to do at that point to petition the courts to get my guns back. And guess what else? Small little tidbit. I'm no attorney, but I do know some of the things when I see them. Remember, this person who accused you and got this red flag gun law put in place to begin with? That person did not have to stand in front of a judge and swear on a Bible and swear in the court system and risk going to jail for giving false information to that judge, because all they had to do was give a sworn written statement. That's not the same as me standing in front of a judge in a courtroom and giving a statement. So when I go back to talk to that judge and trying to convince that judge that I'm truly not a threat, I've got to do it in a court system, sworn talking to the judge, and I can risk going to prison and having a felony slapped on me if I fib or don't give the proper, correct information in any kind of way. But hey, guess what? That's due process, right? Even after 12 months, Marco Rubio was right. I got my due process. He was right after all. I was overreacting. Marco Rubio was 100% right. Of course his bill includes due process. It does. 12 months later, after I've been sitting defenseless for 12 whole months, Marco Rubio's 100% right. It does include due process. Thank you, Marco. This is much more than a slippery slope. I go back to the same thing I said earlier. If I am truly a threat, if I am truly a physical threat to myself and others, how come the only thing changes is that a small percentage of the things that I could kill myself or other people with are removed from my care? Why not everything? Which means you can't take everything from me. I can go to the hardware store and buy, the sports store and buy a baseball bat. None of those things are off limits to me. So am I truly a threat or not? Or is this really just a game to take guns from people?